So I woke up and there was blood all over the place. Someone someone was holding my arm. They had it wrapped up. And when I got up to go to the hospital, the EMTs were there. I remember looking at the kitchen floor and the tile. It's white and it was completely red. It was completely red. And I remember seeing there was just blood all over the place. I was covered in blood. I walked downstairs to go to the hospital. There was shattered glass everywhere. And I remember coming home. It was the following day, and there was blood on walls that you couldn't even reach. So it was. I would have definitely died that night if there was nobody there. So I was fortunate. So how it all happened. I remember that day was a beautiful day, and I was young, very young. I was like 19 years old. I had a couple friends come over, a guy, a buddy of mine, and a girl who I had a crush on at the time. And they came over, and I had my bottle of vodka. They had their drinks, and we were hanging out. I was drinking, and I remember I was drinking my screwdrivers. And I can still picture to this day putting the bottle of vodka in the cupboard after I took a drink, the last drink for me. And I can still picture putting it in the cupboard and looking at it, and there was like 2.5 inches left in the bottle. And I remember thinking to myself, I feel great. I barely got a buzz rolling. And it wasn't a huge bottle, but it wasn't a small one. And I remember thinking, like, man, like, I can't believe I just got a buzz. And it was like I shut the door on the cupboard and it was lights out. It was like I got hit with a 2x4, man. Blackout. So apparently they went to the gas station. It was a mile and a half up the road. They told me they're going to get a pack of cigarettes. And I became so inebriated so fast that I thought they ditched me. So, and I had another buddy coming over at that same time. They left and he came over. And he was upstairs. And I vaguely remember walking downstairs, and I was just fueled with, well, booze and extreme anger. And I went up to the door. It was like a wooden door with like the diamond glass in the oak door. And I just went up to it and I punched it as hard as I could. And I basically demolished the door. Crazy thing is, I never felt an ounce of pain at all. So I walked back upstairs, and they came back from the gas station. They didn't know what happened. They said, this is after I talked to them, that it was like the door was completely demolished. There was glass everywhere, and there was blood all over the place. And my buddy, he at the time told me, he's like, this was the following day, he's like, man, that was the most gruesome thing I've ever seen in my life. He's like, you literally had blood squirting out of your arm. He's like, and you grabbed a bottle of vodka. It must have been the one that I had left. And he's like, you started slamming what was left in there. And he's like, there was blood in the bottle. He goes, it was the most gruesome thing I've ever seen in my house, or in my life, he said. And they tried calming me down, and I had lost so much blood that I eventually just must have blacked out big time then. And like, because I remember waking up and someone had wrapped, they were holding my arm and it was all wrapped up, and I could still picture waking up. There was cops in the house, paramedics, and I remember him saying, "We have to get you to the hospital. You have to go to the hospital. You lost a significant amount of blood." I didn't realize it. And I remember getting up to go walk with him, and I remember looking at the kitchen tile, and it was white. The kitchen is all white tile, and it was like someone painted it red. It was crazy. My body was covered. I had blood all over me. And I remember the next day looking at the scene, like there were spots of blood where you couldn't even reach from how it must have been just squirting out. And I remember my pants, my jeans, because when I went to the hospital and they released me, I don't even know why. I mean, I didn't have cell phones back then. I was, like I said, I was 19 years old, a long time ago. I was walking down a road knocking on doors to use a phone, and someone called the cops, and a cop came, talked to me, and I told him I was already picked up, and he gave me a ride back. I don't know why they didn't give me a ride in the first place, but I can't imagine what the person was thinking when they saw a guy out their door at 1 a.m. knocking and covered in blood. So it was wild. I'm thankful that someone was there, because no doubt I would have died. I mean, to lose that amount of blood that fast, I would have died. I cut my forearm. I still got the scar today. I got a couple scars, but where a big vein runs on my forearm is what I cut. And I'm just very fortunate. I can't believe when I look back at it now how foolish I was to be that close. Jeez. And I'm so thankful. It was, the really bad thing is, I continued to drink for another 11 years before I got sober. But anyway, I don't want to make this video really long. But if any of you guys have any stories you want to share, feel free to comment. I'd love to hear them. So thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate it, and hope to see you guys in the next video.